Protecting wood by charring it? It doesn't need any chemicals and offers long-term protection. There are different techniques to char wood.
And we developed one ourselves. In this video, we're gonna present you our charring station, which is adaptable, easy to use, and runs without any gas or special tools.
Yeah, I think that's it. No?
Hello and welcome to our production center here in Porto. I'm Philip and this is Ricarda, and today we're going to show you a very interesting and natural way to protect wood. We're going to demonstrate it to you so you can easily do it yourself.
But before we get our hands dirty and start the fire, we will first introduce you into the technique of charring wood, its advantages, and the different ways of charring. Then we will tell you about our own approach to the charring station and explain to you how it works in detail. After that, we get into the building process and give you step-by-step instructions so you can easily build up and adjust your own station. And in the end, we will light it up and char some wood.
Here at Critical Concrete, we're focused on sustainable ways of building and constructing. Therefore, wood is most of the times the material of our choice. While researching and looking for ways to protect wood in a natural way and long term, so without using toxic chemicals, we found the method of charring wood. It's actually a Japanese technique originated in the 18th century and is also known as Shou ban. I hope I pronounced this right since my Japanese is not the best. The piece of wood will be burnt until carbonation of its surface. Besides giving the material an interesting black appearance, it leads to a triple protection.
Yeah, and this protection is first fire protection, which might seem a bit counterintuitive, but the carbonation of the material will lower the thermal conductivity. That means in case of a fire, the charred wood needs more time to burn than regular wood. Second, the charring wood destroys the nutritional value to insects and fungi. Therefore, it's a protection against termites and molds. And third, as the enhanced carbonation gives the charred layer waterproof resistance, the technique is also water protecting. And the water slips on the burned wood just like over an oily surface. Furthermore, it's also a huge advantage that you have to apply this technique just once, unlike oil or paint. And it lasts as long as the wood itself.
So, if you want to know more about Shou ban, its history and its common techniques nowadays, or about natural wood protection in general, it's your lucky day, because on our blog we have two really nice articles about these topics and we link them in the description below, so check them out.
In many of our projects and construction, we already used Shou ban and also tried different ways to do so. The easiest and most popular way to char the wood is probably just with a blowtorch, like this one here. That's also how we started, and it's quite easy, practical, and especially for small and irregular pieces, like the windows in our facade, it is still the most suitable way. But when it comes to burning a lot of boards, for example if you want to char cladding for a whole wall, it's just slow and uses a lot of gas.
Another way to do it, and which you can use for this, is the traditional Japanese way, where 3 planks of wood get tied together to form a long triangle. In the resulting tube, a fire gets lit. But this method only works well if you have 3 boards that have the exact same dimensions. Otherwise, it's really difficult or almost impossible. When we tried this setup, it was quite difficult and not really comfortable to use and to handle. Also, the results were not really pleasant. So if you want to use this method, you need fitting wood and some serious skills.
Yeah, for those reasons, we started to research another method. We wanted to build up a tool from commonly available materials. So on one hand, it allows us to char the wood of different sizes and forms effectively, but on the other hand, keep the risk at low and environmental friendly. So it doesn't rely just on the burning of gas.
The result of our research is a rocket stove-like station. We call it the Charring Station. Basically, all you need is some bricks and some wood to light a fire, and of course, wood you want to char. But we will tell you all the details at the station, so follow us.
So right here you can see our charring station. It's actually inspired by a rocket stove, but even though the function differs a bit. We will not go in detail about those differences, But if you want to know more about rocket stoves, or if you don't even know what a rocket stove is, we link you another interesting article in the description.
But back to our station. The goal is to create a strong flame in the chimney due to the air draft effect. The function and structure of this stove is actually pretty simple. The main part is an L-shaped tunnel. Right here at the bottom you have the air intake. It goes all the way through and the air leaves again at the upper opening through the chimney.
Right after the curve, we installed the fireplace in the second layer. Its bottom has two small gaps for the air to pass, so it can feed the fire of oxygen from below.
At this level is also the stair-like firewood intake. We will start and feed the fire from here. It's important to be able to close this hole with the brick so the air draft does not get disturbed. It's also possible to manipulate the air income by covering the lower hole of the tunnel. But while charring wood, we barely ever make use of this.
In the chimney right over the fireplace, there are two holes to insert the boards you want to char here. It is important to have a fireplace that's at least about 5 centimeters wider than the boards you plan to use, because if a piece is too big, it blocks the draft effect and therefore the fire. The holes themselves should be as small as possible to have a good air draft. We installed removable bricks as a solution for that. So if you have a broader piece of wood, you can just take them out, or you can change them by thinner bricks.
Above the inserting hole, the chimney goes up and narrows slowly. It's really important that it narrows slowly, otherwise it will decrease the air draft and we will end up with smoke coming out of every small gap. And now let's have a look of how we built this station.
So let's first prepare ourselves. To build up the station, I will use about 12 of the big bricks to make the base. Then I need around 70 of the solid bricks to make the rest of the structure in the chimney, and at least 5 of the fireproof ones to cover the fireplace inside. But of course you can adapt those numbers and materials for whatever you have available. Also, you have to make sure you choose a place where you will have enough space to handle the boards you will char one day. So let's get started. First, make a fire-resistant base, which is leveled and without bumps. We used a layer of big bricks for that. Now we build a tunnel for the air income with dimensions of 90 to 25 centimeters. Make sure it's stable and close it with removable bricks on one side. Cover the tunnel with bricks like we did here, and make sure you leave 2 gaps, each of about 1.5 centimeters, so the air can get through. The fireplace gets covered with fireproof bricks, and we go on to put the next line of bricks on all sides. We also place fireproof bricks around the fireplace to protect the walls. Next step is to build some steps out of bricks toward the fireplace. Make sure its height will match up with the next row of bricks, so you can close it. Now it's time to create the holes to insert the boards we want to char. For that we put 2 bricks flat across from each other. This station works good for boards with a maximum width of 16 centimeters. In the direction of the firewood income, we leave a gap between the wall bricks. It's nice to have some broken or half bricks here. Now we continue building the chimney in the original diameter for a few more rows. Then we start to become narrower by changing the order of the bricks. Now all you have to do is start the fire and let's get charred. We will start the fire through the wood income. Just make a nice bed out of paper and small wood, and it will light up easily. Always make sure to have a constant refueling of firewood and take care not to block the gaps for the air draft in the bottom of the fireplace. As soon as the fire burns strongly, close the wood income and start to char the boards. Inside, the strong and concentrated fire will char the surface of the wood from below and the sides. The boards should be pushed through the fire in small steps to have a satisfying result. After you chart the first part of the board, you can take it out to check how it looks. Adapt the pace if necessary. When you push it through on one side, take it out. Especially the first time it might be a bit irregular, like this one. Don't worry, it will become better each time. Go on with the other side and burn the uncharred parts in the end. Depending on size, form and species of the wood, it will take its respective time to finish one piece. There is a big time difference, especially between soft and hardwood. Push the board through the fire again until both sides are completely charred. A finished piece should look like this. This board is charred and can be either used like this or get some further treatment. A common technique is it to brush and oil the wood afterwards. It's really hard to find a source that precisely talks about the advantages the oil gives to the wood, but for sure we can say it gives the wood a more appealing look, and even though the protection layer is given without any further treatment, the oil extends the durability. One can easily take off the superficial char with a wire brush. While doing this, brush in the direction of the wood grain. During this process, it's important not to take off too much, as the pores could open again and the protecting layer might be damaged. Before applying the oil, it's necessary to clean the wood. You can either do it with water or use a compressor. Once the wood is clean and dry, the linseed oil can be applied.
So, to make a real statement of the charring station is actually a good method to char wood, we made a little challenge and we burned 2 pieces of wood that have more or less the same dimensions. As you can see, they're big boards, they're a little bit longer than 3 meters. And yes, I did it with the blowtorch, and Ricarda did it with the charring station. And the results are pretty surprising, you can say, because with the blowtorch it took about 29 minutes and 50 seconds.
And with the charring station it just took about 21 minutes, which is way faster.
So it's a pretty clear advantage with the station. You save about 30% of the time, which is a pretty good result for the station.
So the only thing we could say for the blowtorch is that it can do it pretty regularly, which is a bit more difficult maybe with the charring station, but if you train it, it will be easy for you as well.
So we went through the building and charring process, and as you could see, it worked pretty well. We're using this method for a while now and charred a lot of wood already, and we are super satisfied with the result. Not only do we save time, but also we're more independent of the use of gas.
Yes, and another great thing about the charring station is how easy it is to adapt it. It can be modified, and also the dimension can be changed to char bigger boards. So if you build your own station, it would be awesome if you share your experience with us and just send a picture. And of course, if you have any questions or thoughts on the station, make sure to leave them in the comments below.
Hopefully you enjoyed this video and learned something new. If you did, make sure to give us a like. And if you don't want to miss out on any new content we create, also subscribe to this channel. By doing so, you feed the algorithm and YouTube will suggest this video to more people. This would help us to grow this channel and spread our research to the whole world.
Yes, and if you really want to support our work, we're on Patreon now. So just check the description below for more information.
Yeah, and that's about it. So thanks a lot for watching and always stay critical.
Critical.